Hello, everybody. Just wanted to give y'all a quick disclaimer before the beginning of the episode. You might hear a slight echo during Martha's voice throughout the duration of most of this episode. That was my bad. I had issues with the Zoom call on my end, the audio, my microphone, and things like that. So, unfortunately, you might hear an echo there. I try my best to fix it. I don't think it sounds as bad, but you still might hear it. So, if you do, just wanted to give that quick disclaimer. Still a great episode. Hope y'all enjoy it. Hello, everybody. My name is Caesar.
And I'm Martha.
And welcome back to the 17th episode of Inner Wider Screen, where
two idiots who know nothing about movies talk about movies. And today, we sure are idiots.
Yes. So normally I would have a question for you already, but yeah. We already tried recording this.
We already did it.
We already did it. I was not recording on my end.
This is our second time recording, but you know.
Yeah, so also too, she already knew the answer right away, so it kind of defeated the purpose.
Yeah, because I'm smart and he underestimated me. So
I do. Well, listen, I have.
Give out the question.
I can literally give you. Okay, first of all, I'll just mention what the original question was. I can pull up another question for you right now. I'll do it. I don't care.
All right, fine. Let's do it.
Well, the original question I had for you was like, if you're in a race and you pass the person in second place, what place are you now in?
And I answered immediately.
The answer is second place because she's not an idiot.
Place.
But okay. But I can check right now. Let me pull up one right now.
Go for it.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Drop the mic. Whoops. I'm just all over the place today. Okay. This one could be fun. All right. So your mom has 4 kids. Mm-hmm. One of them is north, one is south, and one is east. And so what's the name of the 4th kid?
Martha.
Why is it Martha?
Because you said your mom, my mom, has 4 kids. You named 3 of them, and then you asked for the last one, which is my mom. So it's me.
Would it not?
I'm not stupid.
Would it not be West? Why is it not West?
Because that's not my name. My name is Martha.
I gotta find better ones. All right. Well, we tried. Either way,
I'm smart.
It didn't matter. Yeah. All right. Well, as we mentioned, also on our first time, as you can see, we're on Zoom again this time. Life takes its course and things get in the way.
Life goes
sometimes.
on.
Yes. So, like I said, also, we're gonna be starting school and all that stuff pretty soon. This will probably be more common for us, but we still enjoy this. We still manage to put on a show, so that's the important part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even as long as we keep going. Even though we screw up and have to film twice.
Yeah.
Still make it through.
Definitely. Okay. Did you have any time to watch any movies or TV this week at all?
I did not. I was very busy. Yes, my life was very busy. It was finals week for my class, so I did not have any time to watch anything.
Do you have free time now?
Yeah, I'm officially on summer break for like the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's good. All right.
So
well,
I'll watch everything then.
Maybe I'll time to watch stuff. I didn't get to watch too much either. Like I told you already. But I finished Fear Street. If you haven't seen that trilogy on Netflix, it's a lot of fun. I actually like them better as I go along. I know I told you the third one was my favorite, but actually I like 2 more than 1 and 3 more than 2 and 1. So I think it goes through. It works really well as just a trilogy itself, which is important. So I recommend you. Yeah.
I really want to watch it.
Definitely.
I love gore.
Horror, slashers, all
thing.
that. It's the best.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful stuff. And then I watched The Great Gatsby, the 2013 version with Leo. Can't believe I hadn't seen it till now. Yeah, it was good. Not really much.
It was good.
Why do you love it?
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Everything about it.
Maybe we'll go into it deeper in a future episode, because actually that'd be kind of fun to talk about.
That would be a fun episode.
That would be good.
We're absolutely doing that one.
Look out for that soon. That would be good. But the last movie that I watched was the movie for today, and that is.
I was gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, not quite. The Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy. We love Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not today's movie. This is directed not by Garth Brooks,
No.
Not by Garth Brooks, by Garth Jennings. So remember that, Martha. Thank you. This is his directorial debut, and this will surprise you. Do you want to know what he went on to direct after this?
The name sounds really familiar. So I feel like
you're
it's
not going
got
to
to be
have any
something.
clue.
I'm not going to know.
He
Go ahead.
directed Sing.
That's where I've heard. I swear I've heard it. I knew his name because I love that movie.
Yeah. And Sing 2 is coming out this year. He's also directing that. So
Yes.
definitely interesting direction. I did not expect. I was honestly like, I did a double take when I saw all these movies in the same filmography. But no, it's just true.
Definitely. But have you seen the trailer for Sing 2?
I've not. No.
It's hilarious because it starts out like, oh, this is a fun cartoon movie about animals who sing, and then it's like depression.
Oh.
Life sucks.
Oh.
It's just like midway through the movie, like the trailer, and it just is a total flip.
Oh,
and it's like,
no.
okay, whoa. It's so funny.
I don't know if that's what I want from a Sing sequel, but
They're all sad.
oh,
Everyone's
man.
life sucks. It's just like, it's a whole thing. And it's just so funny to see in a trailer for a movie that's about singing animals.
They're just all depressed.
And they're all depressed and going through like a lot of shit in
Oh,
life,
no.
and they just can't handle it.
Well, that's
the best.
that's the way to get me in the theater, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
So we'll be there for that. Well, that's what Garth Jennings put his creative tools behind, as well as with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I knew I loved this man.
Exactly. This has a really good cast. You have starring Sam Rockwell, Mos Def, Zoe Deschanel, Martin Freeman, Bill Nighy, Anna Chancellor, and John Malkovich. Released April 29th, 2005. Long time. Made on a $50 million budget and grossed back about $104 million worldwide. So not too shabby. Not quite good enough to warrant like a sequel, because I definitely think like the movie opens up that potential. But but people are still watching it now, which is good. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough people.
Enough people. Yeah. I feel like it might be slightly underrated because not enough people talk about how great this movie is, but
Well,
Whatever.
that's what we're here for. So since you've already seen this movie, this is my first time having watched it. But since you've already seen it, I don't know how many times. What was the first time you saw it, and what do you think about it now versus then?
okay, so while this is really up there with like some of my favorite movies, because I love this movie, surprisingly, I've only seen it a handful of times. Like I haven't watched it repeatedly. Like
So this is
some
not
of
like
the
a
other
band
movies.
slam type.
This is not a
rewatch for
band
you.
slam?
No.
Rewatch, but it's honestly, I'll say it's better than Band Slam.
Yet it was
Which
nowhere to
is-
be found on that list that I
On
can't
the list,
remember.
yeah. Honorable mentions. I will continue to add to my honorable mentions. But I remember I just sort of stumbled across it. Okay, that was not a correct sentence. I stumbled across it.
Isn't that what you just said?
Just one. No, I said stumbled across it.
That's close.
I
That's close enough.
I added an ed at
Oh, okay.
across.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, it just like I wasn't like looking for it. Like I hadn't heard anything about it, and I just like watched it, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. Like it was weird,
Yeah.
and it had that like sci-fi that I love. It just like, but it also had like the comedy element
Right.
to it. It just had so much going for it that everything was exactly what I wanted to see. Like it just hit every mark for me,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is an instant classic in my eyes. Like I loved it. And then I went and I talked to my brother about it, my older brother, who is also very into movies. And he was like, you haven't seen it? Like you hadn't seen it until now? Like this is the best movie ever. And even yesterday I was talking to him, I was like, yeah, this is the movie we're doing. I had started singing the Thanks for All the Fish song.
Oh,
to him,
yeah,
and he was
yeah.
like, I love that movie. I was like, I know. He immediately knew it as soon as
You
I
knew what you were
started
talking
singing
about?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew exactly what I was talking about, so I was like, thank you. So I just I love this movie so much.
And
as soon as I seen
it held up for you on this rewatch for sure, I'm assuming.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as my first time watching, I hate to break your heart, I did not like this movie.
Never mind. No, this is canceled. We're not doing this podcast anymore. We're done here. This is the last episode.
I didn't want to have to tell you this. I'm sorry, but I was not a fan of this. I'm kind of in the camp where I thought this was fine. I didn't love this at all. No. So I'm sure you're now very interested in seeing where this conversation is going to go.
Oh, absolutely.
As someone who loves this and
let's
someone
do
who did not
this.
care for this, but
I don't.
listen. There is a lot I like about this movie that we will definitely get into, but there are some
Okay.
things that I just was not with. Also, that you probably loved.
right.
I didn't want to break your heart. I'm sorry.
I hate you, but I hated you before this.
I think based on this reactions, this is going to be our first like major like split of opinion on the show so far.
this will be good.
It's going to be fun because I think every movie so far we talked about, we've pretty much felt the same about.
The same, yeah.
So this one's going to be fun.
Definitely. All right,
Okay, well let's just get into the movie then.
get into it.
I did not expect that opening narration and opening scenes at all. I don't know where the hell that came from with the dolphins.
It's the best. Okay, so
No, I thought of it. I liked it. I just
Okay.
for the movie called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm thinking, okay,
That's
we're gonna
not
open with like
you-
a
in
scene of space, like the Star
Yeah,
Wars
yeah.
openings, you know?
yeah, like a scrolling credit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, no, it is a whole musical about dolphins and how they're smarter than humans and how all this time they've been trying to communicate with us, but
Yeah.
humans are too stupid to understand them. And so one day they're like, listen, guys, the world's ending, we're out. And then all the dolphins just fly up into space.
Yeah, the way they flew off,
I loved it. It's a...
it was
just
great. And
so
the only other thing it reminded me of was how much I hate that we have a SeaWorld here in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a whole different story.
That's
That's
the whole thing.
yeah. I mean, this movie is just quirky, like right from the beginning.
Oh,
Like clear. I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
if that didn't like already
If
show
that
that,
didn't, let you know what you're
but,
getting
like,
into, then...
then you have the narration, and humans are called ape descendants, and now his friend shows up, and he's from another planet.
Yeah.
And there's just probably lots of galaxies at play here.
yeah,
It's a big world.
It's a very okay. Yeah, look at us thinking we're the center of the universe. Come on now.
Yeah.
we're not.
Well, no. There's
We're
a much bigger
we're
world
being
around us.
experimented on mice. Oh, spoilers! Spoilers ahead.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
We're not prepared today, as you can
yeah,
see.
we never are.
I mean, yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. We forgot it in the last recording anyway, so at least we got ahead on it now.
That's true. You're right.
So,
Somewhat.
But yeah, so we open up, with the whole scene, and then from there we meet Arthur, our main character.
Yes. Who's right
he's at
there.
Arthur, Mr. Arthur, with the green
With
robe.
the green
like
robe.
me.
Nice there. She's
Oh, I
not.
forgot a towel. Man,
Missed
this is the
opportunity.
first rule is never forget your towel. But I forgot it. Well, anyway, so we meet Arthur. He's at a party, and he meets Zoe Deschanel,
Yes.
Miss Trisha Trillion.
Yeah.
So, we see right off the bat that they're the quirky, fun
Oh, yeah.
people of the party that doesn't quite mesh with
Yeah.
everyone else who's wearing these, because it's a Halloween party, so
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
wearing like sexy Halloween costumes, and she's dressed as like Charles Darwin, and he's dressed as who was he dressed as?
I don't remember,
Some-
but he's the only one that recognizes that she's dressed like Darwin. Everyone thought she was Santa
yeah.
Claus.
Yeah, so immediately they're like, "Oh my god,
You're like,
you're different too!
Hey.
Wow, look at us, we're different." So they hit it off immediately.
Yeah.
They're hanging out at the party, and we start to learn more about Trisha, her character, and that she is very. I'm not going to stay in one place. I want to go. I want to like live life to the fullest type of person. She's
Yeah.
like, let's go to Madagascar.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. And she's like, no, seriously,
That's
let's
just
go to
saying. He's like,
Madagascar.
oh well, I work.
Yeah, so he's a very practical guy. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
listen, as fun as that sounds, cannot do that.
Right.
So this is where we see, like where they were, on their way to become something, and then this one moment kind of ruined it all, because then we meet
And then after
another
that,
character,
oh yeah, Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
I love Sam Rockwell.
He's incredible.
He's
in
want to
this
see my
movie.
spaceship? I'm like, bro.
I love it. So he comes in all confident like.
Yeah.
And he sweeps Trisha off her
Her feet, basically.
and off the ground, and then off the earth.
Yes, as we see. Because then after that, his friend Ford is like, the world's ending in like 12 minutes or something. And Arthur's just kind of like, he's more worried about his own house getting destroyed versus the entire planet.
So his house is being like completely bulldozed over for a highway, essentially.
Basically.
Yeah. So
Which at the same time is what the
what is happening
to the
Earth?
planet. It's
Yeah,
being cleared
so-
for a highway, basically.
A highway in space.
In space.
Yeah, is what they were doing. So, some parallels there.
Right.
But he's still very much focused on his house.
Yes.
He's still also fawning over this girl. He has like her picture saved on his phone.
Yeah.
And is like, what if she was the one and I'll never know because I'll never see her again? And still doesn't care about the world.
No,
ending,
just his
but,
house.
Just
Literally,
his house.
everyone's like running away, and he's just like not turning around and like looking at what's happening. He's just looking to go find his house.
So oblivious. Yeah. So, but eventually Ford is like, hey, buddy, I'll save you.
Yeah.
Let's hitchhike out of here.
Let's go.
Into space.
Which I mean, it kind of turns into like an apocalypse story with Earth being destroyed. Didn't I expect that?
A little bit.
And basically all humanity at that point is gone except them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so him and Trillian, the last remaining humans.
Basically, yeah.
So, yeah. So that's cool.
I love the way Earth was destroyed like that. It's a
Right?
lot of
Just
ships.
like,
it was just like snap, literally like nothing, meaningless to them.
Yeah.
To those aliens.
It was nothing. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't like a Star Wars epic thing where it's like you get the Death Star and it's like the lasers and it's like
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's-
No.
And then you got Obi-Wan and it was like I heard a million screams and it, but yeah.
Right. No,
it
nothing
wasn't
like that.
It was just like,
like,
oh, okay, we're done.
Okay, Earth gone. Right.
Love it. Very underwhelming. And I loved it.
So then they ended up getting on one of those ships. They're in space, and then you start seeing this Hitchhiker's Guide, I guess, kind of come to life in the movie.
Yes. So Ford has presented him with this book that he's written, and it's all about hitchhiking throughout the galaxy and some tips that lets you know like what you're gonna deal with. Any questions you have, you just open up the book, you say it, and it comes to you. It's like the book from Ella Enchanted.
I don't remember that book.
Yeah, it was Benny the book.
No.
Like you just open
Not
it up.
coming to
And you're like,
mind.
hey Betty, show me Lucinda. Was that her name? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I love
okay.
that movie. Anyway, not talking about Ella Enchanted.
Definitely not talking about that.
Great movie though. But so this book is pretty cool. You learn a little bit more about the galaxy and
Yeah.
like, what the purpose of this book is about and all this.
It definitely felt like something you'd see like on a Disney ride, kind of. Like you're going to Space Mountain or something.
Yes.
So I thought that was
it's
cool.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love that little. I love all the scenes with the book because it fits so well throughout the movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it does, and it's a perfect way of like setting up the scene, like setting up like what you're about to see without having to like a character explicitly.
They definitely
saying,
I liked how they used it as it was definitely an effective way to like show exposition without
Exactly,
actually like
yeah.
stopping the movie entirely. You know,
stopping the movie entirely.
I think for me, after a while, going back to the Hitchhiker's Guide wasn't as interesting as it was in the beginning. Which I know that's just me on this.
But honestly, I feel like it wasn't even used like too often in the movie.
I mean, I guess not, but to me, it kind of got a little tiring.
Okay.
But I do prefer that like they use that instead of like having a character like instead of having like most definitely explaining everything to them. I think that's a more interesting way to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I at least I recognize that for sure.
All right, good. Glad you recognize that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the blabblefish.
Which ones are those?
Which is the little thing he puts in
Oh,
his
the one that
ear
he shoved in his ear to translate.
to translate.
Yeah.
Isn't that so cool?
That was cool.
I want one
Yeah,
because I want to know what people say in other languages.
that would be very cool.
Because I only know English and some Spanish, but even Spanish is
Spanish
kind
is-
of rough. So
Yeah, you're right. I've heard you. I know.
Because, like, you want to travel the world, you want to see different places, but also, how do you do that without communicating
Right.
with anybody? So, I want a babblefish.
No, it was definitely like seeing just things like that. It was definitely a far more quirky start to the movie than I could have ever imagined.
So, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this movie is that there's just these little, like, just things that exist.
Yeah.
And that are just so out there and so weird, but also very practical.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would like something like that.
I would love that. Yeah, that. And then, like, the gun we'll talk about at the end.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Oh, right. Exactly. The point of view gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the look of the Vogons too.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell they're practical or CG. I think they were practical.
Yeah. No, I don't think that they were CGI'd. And
I watched it behind the scenes after this, and they were practical. I'm pretty sure they were most of them were practical. I think
that's cool.
it was really impressive looking, and it makes me wish we had more
Yeah.
practical effects like today. And you clearly don't have to
Yeah.
spend a whole lot of money to do it, and it looks better.
Yeah.
I think.
It honestly did. It just, I don't know. It's just so good. I just love it.
Yeah.
I love the way that it looks because it's like they're so disgusting. And
They
like,
are. Yeah.
but they don't. I mean, like they're fake, but they don't look it because
They look like real creations, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though they're
Yeah,
clearly
exactly.
fake looking, like, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they're saved by Zoe Deschanel. I don't
They
remember.
get a hitchhiked.
They get, yeah, basically hitchhike. And of course,
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell is the president of the galaxy. And of course, he's the worst president of the galaxy that you could ever have.
He actually, I'm pretty sure that they said that he only won because people thought that they were voting for like a worst dressed contest.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
And
how
he
he won.
It's funny.
And so, yeah, he's awful, but also the best character ever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely a very fun character.
Yeah.
And then comes in my favorite character of the movie, Marvin.
Marvin.
I did not know
I-
Alan Rickman was Marvin. It made
What?
no.
You,
Before,
oh, okay.
like
I was like, how do you not tell?
when he opened his mouth, I was like, "That's Alan Rickman." And
yeah.
I was excited, but also sad to hear his voice. You know.
Oh,
And then I started thinking Snape.
Snape.
Severus. Yeah,
Snape.
I couldn't. I
Dumbledore.
could not do that. Yeah, love that character, and I love how.
Yeah, he's a mood. honestly.
Absolutely.
He is every just I love
Clinically
him
depressed
so
robot, just living it out.
It's the best because it's like he was like a prototype for like a real human emotion robot.
Yeah.
and some wires got mixed up because it's supposed because like you see like the spaceship, like the computer on the spaceship is like super happy, and it's like I'm pleased to tell you that we have a bunch of Volcon ships like ready to like fire on us.
Yeah, and he's like,
And and he's like, ugh, I hate everything.
it's kind of like the Eeyore of this.
Honestly, yeah,
That's
he's
what I
like
got.
Eeyore.
Yeah.
He's
Everyone's
just
all
the
happy. He's just like,
best.
okay.
He's just so relatable.
Yeah.
And I was just like, me too.
Me
buddy.
too, man.
Me too.
I want to spin off with him.
Honestly, yes.
And then speaking of, I will say for 2005, I really liked the visual effects, especially.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The way the ships fly through space and the way that like even the ships, how they look both inside and like the outside, like very modern and sleek. Like I really liked how it
Yes,
looked. Everything
yeah.
looked.
Yeah, everything about it was just very. It's just perfect.
You know, not
It's
everything
just-
was perfect. Like Sam Rockwell's head, like twisting back and like.
Oh
had
yeah,
all
that
over
was
her head.
a little. That was a little
a
weird.
little weird, but I mean, it's funny.
But it works. Yeah.
And then also you mentioned the whole about the technology used in the movie, like at first with the fish, or I guess the creations or whatever. Even that quick clip of Zoe Deschanel like showing Arthur
Oh
about the like the toast, like as you're slicing the toast, as you're slicing the bread, it toasts it, and then
I remember
yeah,
back in like I want to say like middle school around
Mm-hmm.
that time. There was like a picture from the movie of like this bread slicing thing, and people were always like, "Oh my god, look at this cool new tool that you could like toast bread with it." And everyone thought it was a real thing because it was like a picture going around social media everywhere. But then after I watched the movie, I was like, "Wait a minute,
that's where it's from.
that's not." Wait. So I realized that was not a real thing, and that it just came from the movie, and people
No.
tried to convince everyone that it was real.
I guess it worked.
So yeah, but it is not a real thing.
I mean,
Unfortunately.
the cooler one for me is just you stick your head in that thing and whatever you're craving, it makes for you.
I need that.
100%.
Like, come
That's the scientific creation I'm waiting for more than anything.
on. Honestly, get on that, scientist. Mr. Scientists,
I was like, y'all
Make me
y'all
that.
made vaccines happen in like this. Y'all can
like that.
Yeah.
You can make a put all your COVID stuff aside. We got
that's
more
not the priority right
more
now.
pressing
Exactly.
issues to attend to.
yeah.
We definitely
No,
need that
please
machine.
if please get your vaccine if you haven't already because
Oh, yeah,
we are
absolutely.
we are
Come on,
struggling.
guys.
This is not we're not looking good right now.
No, sir, we are
Please do your
not.
part. Anyways, yeah. I will say though, for me, as soon as they got on Trisha's ship, even though
Yeah.
I liked the idea of everything that was happening, still, I feel like the movie kind of slowed for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then,
It,
yeah.
it turns into a lot of like it's a lot of dialogue is what happens during these scenes, and I think that is, and I think it's there to like obviously set up the plot and what they need to do next. Like the next chapter of this movie is like, all right, now we have to go find the computer, and then we need to go do this.
But here's my thing with this. I feel like the plot in this was just kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And
I'll give you that much.
I think for me that just didn't really help me get invested, because I guess I'll just go into my main problem with this now. The energy of this movie is at a 10 the entire way. And sometimes I would just liked it to take a breather, like ground itself a little, like maybe spend some time with the characters more, or kind of just, I don't know, just dial down the energy a little bit, give me a little break. And I guess having a plot there or character moments would have helped with that. But because it's not, I just kind of got tired of it.
Okay.
I just got tired of the constant energy and quirks being thrown. Like I needed a little downtime sprinkled in.
Okay. So you're Marvin.
Yeah, basically, I'm too much like Marvin to enjoy this. I guess that's what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So you suck, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Basically, like
I get it. It is a lot. I think you need to be able to understand the quirks and like just like appreciate.
I think for me, I appreciate it to a fault. You know what I mean? Because after a while, it just gets kind of old.
I get
for me.
it. I get it.
But like, I mean, as we've been saying so far, like I like a lot of the quirks. Like the next part is John Malkovich. What the fuck is he wearing? But it's so funny.
I love it. Oh, the whole church scene where
it's crazy.
That it was like the whole like the universe. Some people think it was some god. Some people think it was, or these people thought that someone like a great being sneezed the universe into existence, and so instead of saying amen, they say achoo.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I think that's the quirkiness of this movie gives actors like him and actors like Sam Rockwell like an opportunity to like showcase their quirkiness and like another side of their acting. I dig that like completely.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Then they're going to that escape ship. Everyone's just chaotic as hell right now. Sam Rockwell is basically acting all drunk because he's cut off one of his heads.
He's lost his head.
Yeah, because they took his head hostage.
Because he needs to go find the gun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also need to set up real quick.
Well, you do it because I honestly don't really know what happened, but go for it.
The ultimate question. So
yes.
The answer to life, the universe, and everything. All right.
The answer is 42, though, isn't it?
It's 42.
But they don't know what the question is now.
So this is where the I guess if there is a plot, that would technically be it.
Sure.
So these very smart beings created this supercomputer called Deep Thought. Which I'm wondering, did they get Funko like pop figures? Was that inspired by that? Because
like the Funkos inspired
they
by
look exactly like it.
Maybe. I don't know when Funko Pop
the same
started
head
circulating, but I can see that
true.
like the shape of the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, anyway, so they created this supercomputer to answer life's question,
right?
The answer to everything. And they were like, all right, like come back in, I think it was like 7
Oh, it was
years?
a long ass time. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like 7
million years or something.
Million years later, they show back up and they're like, all right. And it's like a
big event because obviously like you're waiting that long. Like everyone's
waiting like, all right, what is the answer to the universe? And it's like, all right, I'll tell you, but you're not going to like it. It's like 42. And they're like, what do you mean 42? And it's just like that's the answer.
It's 42.
And so they were like, well, I'll tell you what. The computer is like, I will build a separate computer that will build the answer because you didn't give me build to the question because you didn't give me a question. You just asked like, what is
the answer?
Everything. What is the answer? And it's like, I can't give you an answer if there's no question.
Yeah,
so it's like, I will build this computer to build the question. No one knows where this computer is. And now Sam Rockwell's character is on the search for this other computer to find the question so that way he could be rich and famous.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like that's his whole thing is that he just like he wants the fame, he wants the riches. So and in the meantime, you should also know that he is kidnapped himself. And so the Volcon are trying to catch him, but also kill him at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
Because it's like, we have to save the president by killing his kidnapper, which is also the president. So, because they're very like by the book people.
Yeah.
or creatures, aliens. So it's like they're like the person who kidnapped the president is the president. We must save the president by killing the president.
Right. Makes no damn
Yeah.
sense.
So that's also going on in the background the whole time. So they're basically like on the run the whole time from.
Oh
these
yeah,
locals.
basically. But as they go into,
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just say I liked how each world they went to though had their own unique little details. Like that one planet they went to where those tiny, I don't know what things they were, they kept smacking them in the face.
Oh yeah, they were like, if you had a thought, it was
Yeah.
hit you. Yeah.
I just thought that was funny.
I loved that. Yeah.
And then the fact that it was Sam Rockwell who signed off on Earth being destroyed, and he did send it with love and kisses.
With loving kisses, because he thought someone was trying to get his autograph.
I know.
'Cause he's so stupid.
And then they're at the prison, like trying to get Zoe Deschanel out, and he's like, "Who are we waiting for?"
Yeah, he doesn't even
No,
realize what's
what-
going
I'm
on
like-
because he's gone like a little bit crazy because half of his
His
brain is now
head's
missing.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So he is just very stupid, and he's running on lemon juice power, which is really cool because it's like you get this little helmet and you just juice the lemon, and then he has thoughts again.
Oh yeah, right.
So that's funny. But yeah, it's he's an interesting guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think at this point I just really thought like I wish I was more invested in what was happening and where they were going, but it just I didn't care that much. I don't know.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
I think what was keeping me entertained was like all the visuals and all the ambition. It was just like really cool to see because I even a lot of blockbusters we get today don't really have this amount of creativity to them.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that. Like even like those missiles that turn into the petunias.
I love that. Yeah. So trying to get into Magrathea, I think it was the
Yeah,
planet
yeah.
where they were going to find deep thought and wait, was it the deep thought?
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's where they were going to find deep thought, and they turned the missiles with the probability thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. And it turns one of them into a flower pot of petunias, and the other one turns into a whale. And I love that the whale, the entire time as he was falling to the sky, he was having a whole identity crisis.
Yes.
He's like, what's happening to me? Who am I? What am I? And it's like, okay, so let's get it together. I feel something on the back of me. I'm going to call it a tail. And it's like, well, something's rushing by me. I'm going to call it wind. Oh, look at that. It's round. I'm going to call it the ground. And he's like figuring out life as he's falling, through the sky. And he's living a whole life in the span of like a minute.
Yeah.
It's
See, to me, that was funny in concept, but I don't know. It just felt kind of pointless in the moment. I guess I don't know. I knew you would love that scene though, and I get the humor of it. I do.
It doesn't add value to the movie,
Yeah.
or like it doesn't add to the plot. Like it wasn't necessary. But I feel like so much of this movie is like there's nothing of value
Yeah.
to add to the
I get
plot.
that.
It's all just there to like show that this whole universe is just crazy and out there. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Which I guess makes sense. Like the main story itself is pretty pointless in its own way. So going like abandoning that for a second to focus on this whale going through his whole life in a minute,
Identity
it's pointless
crisis
too.
and
I mean, I guess I get it. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So, that happens. But yeah, I definitely love it. And then the petunia is like, "Ugh, not again." That's the thought that was running through the petunia's head.
Okay, where I really did not know what was going on was well, Arthur didn't go in that portal. I know he's gonna take too damn long.
And then Obi-Wan goes and finds him.
I don't know who that guy was. I don't know what the whole purpose was of him going in that gateway thing.
So here's okay. So I think this is where you kind of.
I mean, at this point, I was kind of checked out, to be honest, and I didn't really know what's happening.
So this guy Obi-Wan is what I'm gonna call him
Sure.
because he has a stupid name and I don't know.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, because he was like, my name isn't important, and he was like, well, how am I supposed to trust you if I don't even know your name?
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
Fine. And then he tells him it's like a really long, stupid name, and he's like, I told you it wasn't important.
So embarrassed.
So Obi-Wan, we'll call him Obi-Wan. So he's part of like the world building center where he helps build worlds.
Oh, well, yeah, he did build
Like
He
planets.
built that whole replica of Earth, basically, like Earth 2.
Yeah, well, he didn't like do it single-handed, like.
Well,
but,
yeah, right. Yeah.
So he's there like for exposition, like trying to like explain like, so this is what you don't see going on because you've lived on Earth the whole time, but like we're planet builders. Like this is whole galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
The people who actually commissioned Earth to be built were mice.
Okay,
And
yeah,
so-
okay. I was when that whole mice thing happened, I was just kind of like, I can't do this.
Yeah, so it's the mice who were like running everything, and they were
Yeah.
performing experiments on the humans on Earth, and all this time the humans were like, no, we're performing experiments on the mice, and it's like, no, we're letting you pretend like you are, but we're the ones who are
Yeah.
like figuring out what your deal is. And we find out later that the reason for that is that the supercomputer that was supposed to find the question, Earth was that computer. And of course, Mr. President destroyed it. So he couldn't find the question. And so
Why would they trust Earth with that important question of the galaxy? Is my question.
I think their hopes were up here.
I think they were a little too optimistic.
And we severely let them
yeah,
down.
I don't. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that was not a good choice on them. But I think where you got confused is like why he came in and why he like showed him everything, why he brought him there was because the mice, like not control him, but they like they're like a higher species than that man. So they told him like it was like, all right, your job today is to go show him around, bring him here.
Yeah.
So when he gets to his house, that's when they like reveal everything and they're like, well, listen, you know, Earth's gone now. So we're just going to take your brain because you lived on Earth. And so, you know, we need it to find the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why he like came in and brought him there was because the mice told him to. They like directed him to.
Yeah.
Does that make more sense?
A little bit. I
Okay.
I literally wrote this note. I have no idea what the fuck is going on at his house. His friends are eating all the food, and the mice are controlling everything on Earth.
The friends were being drugged. So
I figured
yeah,
that. I just didn't in the moment.
Yeah, that's
I knew the
what
mice wanted his
happened, yeah.
brain. Like they were like kind of the reason why things are happening the way they are
Yeah.
in the moment.
I don't know why his brain I mean, I guess because he's one of the last humans left, but like,
I mean, yeah, it was
he's,
just
like,
him
the
and-
most boring human.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know.
nothing really there.
I mean, I guess the only humans left were
grow.
him and Zoe Deschanel, right? Like
Yep.
full 100% human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know,
Makes
that
sense.
didn't really work out.
But before that even happened, you mentioned this a little bit earlier. The point of view gun.
Yeah, the
Pretty
point of view
awesome,
gun.
actually.
I love it, and I love that it's like she says that one line. She was like, "It's no point. Like you can't work on me. I'm already a woman." So the whole point
Right.
of the gun,
Right.
yeah, the whole point of the gun is that it's like if you shoot it at someone, they see things from your point of view.
Yeah. Which I think is really dope.
And
yeah.
honestly awesome. And I love that like because of that you get to see like what she's really feeling and
I think that was the most effective scene of the movie, to be honest. For me, it was the only time where I really felt like I connected to a character.
yeah.
in this.
Yeah, she's really going through it. She doesn't show it, but she's like it's like all of this you know, like I'm going across the galaxy with the guy who destroyed my home. He took me from my
Yeah.
home. I, you know, ruined my chances with this other guy who is like the perfect
The
guy.
only guy who cares about me. I potentially
so-
blew it, and now I'm alone, and I don't have a home to go to.
Yeah, so she's, you know,
Yeah.
she's regretting a lot. So she like wanted this life of adventure, and then she realized I made a lot of bad choices.
Yeah.
and it's too late now. So, yeah, so that was a pretty interesting
Yeah,
scene.
definitely.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember what conversation this was, but I wrote down this quote that I liked. It was like, "I'd much rather be happy than right." And are you? No.
I love that. Yeah, he's like showing him the new Earth Model 2.
Yeah.
And he's going through and he's like asking him all these questions, is like trying to understand. It's like, okay, so like things are starting to make sense why, you know, everyone always kind of like wonders like if there's like this greater thing happening, and he wants to know more
Right.
answers to questions, and then that comes up and it's a
I
really
was like,
funny
I felt
line.
that. I really felt that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
all those aliens like showed up at the house after that, and Marvin's just like casually walking through all the crossfire.
And then poor Marvin, gets hit in the head.
And then I was just like, "What the fuck? He's dead." And
I know,
like,
it was very sad.
And
sad
then like
moment.
when I thought he was dead for real, and I was like, "Okay, now I really don't care what's going on," because I actually liked Marvin.
Yeah. But they brought him back.
But they
He
brought
came
him back
to
like a
life.
badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he saves the day with his depression. He uses the point of view gun on the whole and they all just are like, "What's the point?" And they all fall, and they're all depressed. So depression saves the day.
It's
in
this
this
is
movie.
superpower. I loved it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's funny.
Yeah, but then the movie has a nice happy ending. You know, Arthur and
He
Trisha.
decides that he doesn't want to live on Earth anymore.
Right.
Which, like, neither would I.
At that point, no,
So-
no.
Yeah,
Especially
they've
once you see
seen
there's a
the
whole
whole-
huge galaxy out there. It's like let's
Yeah,
go
like,
explore.
you want to explore. So
Let's just-
definitely understand that. Yeah. Also, because like it's like Earth, you got to work, you got to pay
Oh,
bills.
no way.
What's the fun in that? Come
There
on.
is
now.
no fun.
No way. I'd rather relive Star Wars up
Exactly. No way.
So,
I'm gonna go on my own adventure in this galaxy.
Yeah, I definitely understand it. But Earth returns back to normal exactly the way it was with this new Earth. The dolphins return.
I loved how it
Loved
came
that.
full circle with the dolphins.
Came full circle.
Definitely.
It's just beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a nice little conclusion to the
Yeah.
movie. So yeah.
That's basically the movie. So do you? I guess I would just wonder for you: is there any sort of emotional attachment you have to this? Like, what kind of positive feelings do you get while you're watching this? I guess I would say.
Okay, I see what you mean. I don't know. Like
Like, why do you respond so much to this?
I guess you could say it's maybe a comfort movie. I don't think that there's anything like super like associated with it. Like, oh, I have good memories.
No,
with
no, no.
it. It's
I'm
just,
not. I don't mean to insinuate that like you
Like-
only like this because of nostalgia
Okay.
or anything like that. I'm just wondering, like,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's just like it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie to watch. It's ridiculous. It's like I said before, like it hits a lot of boxes. Like it checks a lot of boxes for me, so that's why I like it so much. It's just I love sci-fi movies. I love comedies, but I also like being able to sit and watch a movie that's just so ridiculous that you don't have to put too much
That's true.
thought
I mean,
into
that's
watching
fair.
it,
That's
you know?
definitely fair. Nothing you have to take
Yeah.
very seriously at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's you don't have to take it seriously. It's just
Not really a lot of
it's
stakes
funny.
involved or anything like that.
No stakes exactly.
Just-
Like you don't you don't feel like you're never like, oh, I got it like on the edge of your seat
Right.
the whole time watching
Like
it.
not every
it's just,
movie you
like-
need to watch has to be that way. Sometimes you just want
Exactly.
something like this.
Sometimes you just want to watch something mindless
Yeah.
and just have a good
Yeah.
time. You don't, like you got all these like critically acclaimed films, and I love them.
Oh yeah, they're great too.
But sometimes it's a lot, and it's easy to just take a break, watch something that's just enjoyable that doesn't have anything like too. You just like you have to be. I don't know, like it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I 100%,
Yeah.
100% get where you're coming
Yeah.
from.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I hated that I didn't like this more. I mean, it has nothing to do with the book because honestly, before watching this, I had no idea this was even based on a book. I knew nothing about the movie, the book,
Yeah.
nada. I'd only heard of the title. I knew people out there like that. I know you like this movie. And like I said, I loved how ambitious it was and how creative it was. The characters were fun. And I was like entertained by the energy of it all. But like I said, like sometimes it was just kind of too much energy for me. Like because of that, I just wish there were moments where they just kind of just slow down a little bit, maybe ground itself a little, like give us some moments more.
Okay.
Like for me, like one of my favorite scenes of the movie was when Dozy Deschanel, that whole point of view gun scene where like she
Yeah.
like
It-
shows like she uses it on Sam Rockwell and like he's talking about all the things that she's going through in her mind. I would just wish there were more moments like that with the other characters to kind of
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. I think that would just been more effective, like for me personally, because after a point, it just kind of got repetitive. Especially like, okay, for example, Sam Rockwell, love him, and his character is fun, but after a point, his character just kind of has the same shtick the whole time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish there was a little more there to grasp me. I'm not saying it had to be anything deep or like you're saying any stake. It's just
Yeah.
I liked that this was a mindless kind of just harmless fun watch. You know what I mean? I like the idea of that,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just wanted to. I need a little more.
All right. I understand. I get it. I hate you, but
Yeah, you know,
I get it.
I enjoyed the world building. I was entertained by the chemistry
Yeah.
and everything. I just all that only lasted so long for me. Like I said, it's just at a constant like energy the whole time.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yeah.
it's just a
Yeah.
little tiring for me, and at a point a little messy for me. And I don't know. I just wanted a little more. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get it. You're entitled to your
I guess. Yeah, I know you won't. I'm actually kind of glad we didn't do this in person because you would have wanted to kill me right now.
Oh, absolutely. After these cameras are out. Oh,
As soon as these cameras
You're
are
done
off.
for. Yeah.
But yeah, those are basically my final thoughts on the movie. Did you have any final thoughts?
This movie's a trip. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's, it's ridiculous. It's out there. You got to go into it understanding that it's ridiculous and that there's not a whole lot of substance
Right.
to it. But like, if you can get past that, like, I think it's just a fun watch.
Maybe-
Like, it's just so
Yeah.
good.
Maybe if I go back to it,
I
not
love
having those to tell you the truth, I wasn't really expecting anything. But I guess
Yeah.
now that I know it's just something that's pretty mindless, maybe I'll enjoy it on a different level if I go back to it. But
Yeah, definitely.
honestly, right now I don't really have that desire. But maybe in the future.
All right. That's fair.
But,
All right. Yeah.
but also too, shout out to Marvin because
We
love him. Love Alan Rickman.
so much.
Rest in peace.
Absolutely.
For sure. So
Professor Snape.
I know, Mr. Severus Snape. Okay. Did you want to give your score?
Yeah.
Or should I go first? Are you still thinking?
I don't know. I'm debating. Okay, you go
All right,
first.
Well, I'm gonna be straight down the middle. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. I know that hurts. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I can't get it to positive.
This is
I can't get it to fresh. I can't. I'm sorry. I know this is definitely gonna be the biggest like gap of opinion we
It
have thus far.
definitely
It probably
is,
will have for a
because
while. But yeah,
I was gonna give it. I was debating between like an 8 or a 9.
go for. I mean, hey, if you want to do 9,
But
go for a 9. I don't care.
I'm gonna go for a 9.
Okay, that's fair.
I love this.
I'm glad
movie.
you do.
Like, I really do.
Okay, that is
And
fascinating.
I see what you mean. That there is a lot of points where it's just like. I get what you mean about like the pace of the movie is very odd sometimes, so that I understand that, but I do love it. Also, I'm sorry to Brianna if you're watching this because she was just yelling at me earlier this week about how we don't give movies a 10 because she's like, just if you like it, if it's good, just give it a 10. Because she's like, stop saying there's room for improvement because it's
I'm
stupid.
sorry, Brianna, it
And she
does not
hates
work
it.
like that.
Yeah, so I
can't do that.
do it.
I hardly give out
Yeah.
10s, and that's not even me being like, oh. It's just like,
To me, a 9 is a 10.
yeah, that's basically right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it,
Trust me, there's some movies that are 10s in my life, but it's not a lot.
yeah.
And I'm sure, hopefully, maybe one we'll talk about the 10s for us more in depth. But I mean, for you, this is practically near a 10. So
It's a near 10. It's great. I
yeah,
love it.
100%.
Thank you.
That's definitely interesting. Our opinions there. So there you go. This is. I mean, but I enjoy this though. Like just having differing opinions. I'm sure this will happen the other way around, where I'll talk about a movie I love, and you're like, meh. Yeah,
Meh.
that's fun.
Oh.
That was fun.
You know what? Yeah.
I mean, I
have
know
a
of one off
couple
the top of
that
my
I
head
think-
already. American Beauty.
Yeah.
If we ever talk about that, that's gonna be the same thing. So
Oh, yeah. Same thing. Except I'm gonna.
I think you've got more negative
like
to say
that
about
movie.
that than I did about this. So,
Oh, definitely.
but that's
Got a lot to
a
say.
topic for another day.
Oh. Huh.
But speaking for our next topic, though, our next movie we're talking about, Martha, do you remember it?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Next week we're going to be watching Black
Oh, yeah.
Swan.
Excited for this. This is the first movie we're going to talk about that you have not seen prior to the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to show you this movie. If any of you out there haven't seen it or you want to rewatch it, it's on Hulu right now streaming. Definitely will be a fun episode. I think there's a lot to talk about. I hope you like it. I hope you like it. I think it's a great
I'm
movie.
really excited about it. I've always meant to watch it. I just never got around to it.
Okay.
As with every other movie.
Right. Right.
I always have intentions of watching it, but then never,
Actually
follow
do.
through.
Right. So we'll see what happens with that.
You know.
But yeah, that is basically the end of our episode today on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Thank you all so much for watching, for listening. If you want to keep listening more, we are on all audio streaming platforms. So Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your music and your podcast should be on there. So check us out. But if you want even more than that, you want a whole nother level to this, YouTube. Come on now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, In Our Wider Screen. Like, comment, share. I'll do all that good stuff.
Yep.
You can see Martha's reactions when I basically crapped all over one of her favorite movies. So if you want to see that for yourself, there
Should
you
be
go.
fun. Yeah, my eyes have never been so big.
I loved that reaction so much. Sorry.
Yeah. So-
And finally, follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We're all In a Wider Screen. Those are our social media, so follow us there. We'll post updates about new episodes, new topics, things of that nature. So, yeah.
Yep.
But
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you. You are all incredible
you are
people.
a beautiful,
Or aliens,
whatever you are. You're beautiful people, and if you're here, thank you so
Beautiful people
much.
in the universe.
Yes,
Love.
peace and love.
Peace and love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Bye.
Bye.